Good to go. I'm on a different microphone, but it should be fine.
So when you cut out,
Yeah.
and I'll just say this slowly so we can weave it back
Yeah,
in,
yeah.
you were saying that you've studied Jyotish with many prominent teachers, but,
Yeah.
and then it cut away.
Yeah,
And
yeah, yeah.
yeah, I
It's
have a thought
interesting
to
when
add
it
to that.
cut away.
Yeah, and I have an interesting thing to contribute to that too. Um,
um, but I don't have one teacher, is what I was trying to say, of Jyotish that I consider to be like, oh, they're my root teacher.
well,
Like
here's,
that's the lineage of Jyotish. That
well,
is kind of my thing. Yeah.
want to make it really weird? Let's make this really
Yeah,
weird.
of course.
So they say traditionally, and I too have had numerous different sources of great Jyotish teachings and wisdoms passed to me. But they say, and one of the people I studied with a lot would always lead with this, remember it takes 300 years to learn this, which is a way of saying in one lifetime it is not possible. It's also a way of saying nobody is a master of this art and science. And at the end of the day, it leads you back to faith and spirituality because, to be just very basic in this statement, God only knows.
Yeah.
Because it's too much for the human mind to fully conceptualize this entire thing. But what I wanted to say that makes it really weird is to the first of those 3 points, we share a belief that in this tradition we're talking about multiple lifetimes, reincarnation, things like that. We're comfortable with those kinds of topics. And so typically, like for somebody like say for me, it kind of came without the Jyotish came without warning, as if a seed had been
Hmm.
planted prior and
Yes.
found the right time, place, environment to ripen. And you witness this, Justine, this like sudden ripening of like, I'm curious, I'm kind of bumbling around in this, we're starting to learn it, we're starting to talk about it in context, to this like immense download of information, which is kind of to say, it's like, who is the primary teacher? It may have been me in a past life.
Right,
It like
exactly.
it doesn't really matter, but it's like it's kind of might be you. Like
Yes,
it
yes,
might be
exactly.
yourself. It's a very,
Exactly.
this is
And
where
I
lineage
mean,
can kind of go off the rails a little
right.
bit.
And
It's like,
we say, right, it's like taking refuge in yourself as a future Buddha. It's like the most beautiful thing. It's inevitable, so you might as
mm-hmm,
well take refuge in yourself as future Buddha. It's coming. We say the same thing with Ayurveda, the same thing with yoga. It's like you're swimming across an ocean and you have no hope that you're going to get to the other side, but you still keep swimming, in this ocean of this current of knowledge, right? It takes many, many lifetimes. But it's interesting to me that I've had these great teachers of Jyotish, many very kind of prominent names that we can throw out and name if we feel inspired to. We don't have to, but then it's also like, like where is that root? And actually, I've been studying with somebody recently who may have maybe the closest to that root that I've discovered in myself. But it's also these ripenings
mm-hmm.
of the wisdom that you already have inside of yourself that suddenly flowers out, and you're like, oh, we've talked about this before. You're like, suddenly after a year, all of a sudden I know so much about Jyotish. How did this happen? I don't know. Just all of a sudden it is there.
And it wasn't that I didn't show up for it. I mean,
Of course.
during the quarantine time, I participated intensively in these online
Mm-hmm.
groups, and
Mm-hmm.
on that app that kind of came and went on Clubhouse, and
Yeah, yeah.
it was like 50 people showing up regularly to speak together 2 hours a day, 5, 6 days a week. I mean, we
Mm-hmm.
really went deep. So
Yeah.
sure, of course, there was a lot of practical learning that went on over the course of maybe a year in that space. But some people were showing up as much as I was, and it wasn't sticking and landing in the same ways. And that's because
Mm-hmm.
we had, in some ways, in our own practice, in our own lineage, we had prepared a very fertile ground for that to
That's
land.
right. Mm-hmm.
And the teachers in that group were also aware of my chart, which is very weird, and aware that there was also a seed that was waiting for
Mm-hmm.
ripening within me and
Mm-hmm.
cultivated it. So it's like,
Mm-hmm.
it's very hard to put these things to words, and it's
Mm-hmm.
very beautiful to witness it, and you see it all the time as a teacher when you
Yes,
are teaching and you see what things are ripening or coming to fruition or suddenly kind of taking root in other people. And of
that's right.
course, that they become your teacher back to you. You know, it becomes this
Always.
very beautiful circular or kind of figure eight um, type of thing, which is why and we were talking about the Jupiter moving forward into exaltation, retrograding back, coming back again. It's like the work that we are doing now is perhaps also feeding backwards in time, and the things that were maybe moving toward each other in somebody else's teaching, we have like closed those loops or connected those synapses, and that registers in all directions in space and time.
Exactly.
Just to keep making this as, you know,
And this is the
like,
siddhi of the yogi who can
mm-hmm,
travel through time, forward and
mm-hmm,
back.
mm-hmm.
So, fashion.
Music and movie pick.
Movie.
Ooh,
It's
okay.
got to be thrift. It's got to be like
Thrift store
thrifted
fashion.
vintage. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Remember that time? So I'm not there now. I don't want to reveal like exactly where we live, but long story short, there's a
Never
long and
speak of it.
never
Do
speak of
not tell
it,
them.
but there is a long and winding road between an urban metropolis and a rural village, which
Hinterland.
hinterland, and many of us were in the regular practice of making that as a commute for whatever reasons. And I did that with my family for my whole life from one direction and then moved to the other direction. So a lot of driving. And we saw a lot of slow but like constant change in the businesses that stayed active along that ride. And for a period of time, something that had been, was it like a Foster's Freeze at one point,
Yeah.
like a fat,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
and then it became
Yeah.
like a Goodwill. I
Yep.
remember that
Yep.
time we were getting ready to go on retreat and take a group of people on retreat, and this is in the middle of nowhere. All of these beautiful vintage
Yes.
clothes and things showed
And
up
they
from
were,
India.
and they were Indian clothes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
from India, beautiful things. And it's like there, I've never seen an Indian person in that town ever.
No.
Um, and it wasn't
And
like
like somebody's entire closet showed
yeah,
up there.
and it
Yeah.
wasn't tacky or touristy, or it wasn't weird. You know, we can kind of tell when a physical object carries a strange energy. It was just like these beautiful things, and so I brought them on that retreat. I forgot about that. Why am
Yeah,
I
that
even
was
saying it?
amazing.
It's just funny.
Because it's thrifted lineage and it's like
The
we're
fashion
wearing
pick.
history. Yeah,
Fashion
fashion
pick.
pick.
Yeah.
Music's gotta be it's gotta be sampling, like flow
Hmm.
through remix.
It's DJ
And then
Drez. Come on, it's
it's
DJ
totally
Drez.
DJ Dress. Oh my god.
DJ Drez.
It's also Miles Davis who like
Ooh,
taught
okay.
through sessions, and like oral
Hmm.
transmission. Like he didn't leave any textbooks. That like jazz lineage is
Yeah.
very much this like you don't study, just come and do it.
So I had a teacher of music when I was 14, which
Uh.
is, you know, a quarter of a century ago. And he's in his 80, I think he turned 80 this year, and he
Oh
texts
my
me
god.
almost every day. He sends me music every day. 25
Oh,
years, right? Um,
wow.
if that's not a lineage, that's I don't know what is. And did I learn about presence from this person? You know,
Yes, you did.
like who's to say he's not a yoga teacher, right?
Right. Oh, he is.
Of course he is. I mean, without a doubt. I mean, he's part of this too. And I think that we can think, and that's why we don't, although we respect effort and accolade and achievement, we don't necessarily lead with it because you may learn more from an unexpected source
Yeah,
than from the person who has 2 billion followers on social
on
media because they look
exactly.
sexy in yoga postures. I'm just
Right.
just saying. Um, okay, fashion, music, movie pick.
Movie. Okay, it's gotta be like Star Wars and the
Oh, yeah,
Skywalker, the
yeah, yeah.
Skywalker lineage, right?
Hmm.
And
Oh
like
yeah,
I'm
it's
sorry.
Jedis. Yeah, it's
It's
the Jedi
Jedi's.
lineage.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
I
So
couldn't
okay,
go. There's
easy.
nowhere else
Yeah,
to go
yeah,
with
yeah.
that.
No,
Yeah.
no. We kind of
Uh,
nailed it. DJ Drez, Yoda, Jedi,
yeah.
and whatever you find at the
Also,
thrift store
also
on your
like
way to a retreat.
also Also, music Aphex Twin like has his finger into like every single musical genre in the contemporary era, and most people have no idea that like every single sample, like Richard James is phenomenal in terms of his influence on contemporary music. Like Aphex Twin is everywhere, and we don't even know that it is.
Yeah, similar to Jay Dilla. I mean, people who
Yeah,
know,
exactly.
but as we all age, those of us who think that that's common knowledge for all people, we're starting to get a little old. But like Jay Dilla's influence on hip hop music is so extensive, and that comes from that deep, kind of like Aphex Twin, analog sampling and crate picking, and like just being a vector for all of these really beautiful inputs and transmitting them back out to the world. Yeah. Um,
So I have a myth that is very
oh, okay.
appropriate about Vyasa and Ganesha. Happy Ganesh Chaturthi.
Yeah.
So the sage Vyasa, he has the great epic poem, the longest epic poem, one of the longest that's ever been composed. It's like inside of him. It's like this cosmic download, for lack of a better word. The codes of it are just emerging inside of him. And he doesn't want the knowledge to vanish, so he needs someone to write it down for him. There's some obstacle, he can't write it himself. So Ganesha, remover of obstacles, patron of beginnings, enters into the scene, and Vyasa asks him to write the Mahabharata down. But Ganesha, Ganesha is cheeky and playful, and he says that he'll agree if Vyasa dictates without pausing. He just needs to be a continuous stream of this epic, and that if Ganesha doesn't understand something, he'll stop writing. So Vyasa, he counters with his own condition that Ganesha must only write after he fully understands each verse. So they begin this collaboration where Vyasa begins speaking in these spirals of poetry and layering in riddles and meanings whenever he needs a moment to breathe, because Ganesha says that if he pauses even for a breath, he'll stop writing. And Ganesha has his broken off tusk as his quill in his hand, and he's writing, keeping the pace of this river of verse. And so this is not lineage as authority, this is lineage as relationship. One transmitting and one receiving, and together weaving something that's bigger than either of them alone. If there's no student, there can be no teaching. And like in many ways, I am very remiss. I'll just say it publicly. I hold this lineage, two lineages of classical Indian dance, and I don't have students for it. And in some ways, right now, and in some ways, this creates a lot of sadness in myself, because I don't have like this fertile ground to offer this teaching, so the teaching can't live. And this text of Mahabharata survives not because Vyasa held power, but because he entrusted it into the living intelligence of Ganesha. So this is the idea that lineage isn't certificate. It's not a rubber stamp. And we run yoga teacher trainings and we certify people, and at the same time we're like, that's not it. It's a wonderful entry, but so what? Like, this is the lineage is reciprocal. It has to be transmitted and received with discernment. Ganesh doesn't write unless he understands, right? And there is some creative tension in lineage. Vyasa needs Ganesha's diligent, and Ganesha needs Vyasa's wisdom. It's co-created. That's really important. It's not just imposed. And that is the difference between cult and lineage that we've pointed to so many times. It's
And
like a duet. Yeah.
yeah, and it points us back to the most fundamental principle of all that is yoga, which is that it occurs in the present moment.
Yes.
It is occurring. It is in the teaching itself. And so again, the certificate, it's like, we want so badly to hold on to things and I have this. It's like I am receiving, I am offering a teaching, I am receiving a teaching. In that moment is when it is happening. And that's why
Yes.
we're saying that these things can move in all directions. So in the moment that I am teaching you something, I am honoring all that have taught me, and you are like learning it in that moment and receiving it, and it's like this feedback loop that we have to keep co-creating in order for it to
Correct.
exist.
Yes.
Otherwise it's well, whatever. It's a living oral tradition. I don't need to over explain
Well,
that.
very good. Om Namah Shivaya.
Om Namah Shivaya.
Hari Om Tat Sat.